Hello, hello, hello. We're live. We're live. Shall I take that banner down? Hang on.
Might as
Where
well.
are we? Because we're live already. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Claret and Booze. We're reluctantly doing this this match review after that game yesterday, but we thought we've got to do it. We do it when there's good results. We've got to do it when there's not so good results as well. Like I say, I'm probably not as despondent as what I would have been if it hadn't been for Thursday night. Thursday night, you know, that was it was a massive game. It really, really was, and that kind of made it feel a little bit more insignificant going into this game. And I think you sort of felt that from the West Ham fans, even in the away end. I mean, it was quiet in that stadium anyway. It was very quiet, like from the home end. But even our fans weren't really. I don't know. Nobody was really in full voice. I think everyone had a bit of a hangover from Thursday night. That's kind of what it felt like for me with the team as well. I just kind of thought it looked like a tired performance, and it is frustrating. And we'll get into that because we want to be competing on all fronts, don't we? We do. But the fact of the matter is, at this moment in time, it appears that we can't. We had just played 120 minutes against Sevilla, and like I say, it was intense as well. It was such a good performance. You know, there was always going to be exhausted from that, and emotionally exhausted as well, because it was a special night, wasn't it? It was a really special night. But myself and Gary went to the game, and yeah, you drove down to me. We jumped on because I live in Enfield, so we're not too far from Tottenham. So it was a couple of stops on the train, wasn't it, Gal?
Yeah, it was. It was actually turned out to be quite a quick journey there, but a slow journey on the way back, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's annoyingly efficient, to be honest, because you're off the train when you get there. They handle their security calls and everything just seems to be much more efficient than the way that we do it. I mean, we did have to walk the long way around, didn't we, to get to the away end? But yeah, it was all right. There weren't much of an atmosphere around the stadium at all, and it was mobbed. It was mobbed with people, but it was pretty quiet. There wasn't really any songs being sung or anything like that on the walks to the stadium. When we got inside, obviously a bit different in the bar with West Ham. It was bouncing in there, wasn't it? Like for the initially when we got in there.
Yeah, it's very lively. Everyone was in a really good mood. I think everyone was sort of convinced themselves to get up for it again. You know, I think we had a bit of a hangover from Thursday night in the same as it turned out the team did as well, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, we experienced it all because, you know, they've got their own. I mean, like I say, everything's really efficient in there. Their pies were shit. We had a couple of pies. They weren't that great, was they?
What was that? What was that?
I don't know. It was a minced beef and onion pie, but it was I don't know. It was like a tomato based mince, wasn't it? It was a bit fucking weird. But they've got a nice selection of beers. And one thing I will say about the stadium is they don't. They're reasonable. It's reasonable in there. I mean, you get a pint for £5. It's like pub prices. So I think it's like £4.85 or something for an amp stall. But they've got them bottom filling. It's all gimmicky in there, isn't it? So they've got they've got these bottom filling pints. So they plug the cup on. It takes just as long to fill the fucking pint up as what it does when you fill it up from the top. And the bloke who's serving you your pint still gets beer all over his hands. So I don't really see what the fuss is about that. But no, it was all right. I was feeling quite. How was you feeling, sort of going into the game yesterday? Was you quite confident? I mean, I was.
I was a bit. How can I say? I didn't, even though I predicted that we were going to win, I didn't seriously, in all honesty, expect us to go there and for the team to turn up and be full of beans and energetic after that huge game on Thursday night. You know, because that's not realistic, is it? Really? But sometimes, as a West Ham fan, you get a little bit carried away. And I was a little bit carried away with the, expecting us to win. Yeah, but I think really my bubble was burst when I saw Masuaku in the lineup. I've got to be honest.
I can't understand it for the life of me. I mean, how many times have we got to see the same performance from Masuaku? And it weren't just Masuaku in the lineup. What that means is he's gone to a back three again. And it's like David Moyes, he doesn't ever, if he sees someone else in a back, if he sees someone else with a back three, it's like he wants to try and match them up all the time. That's his immediate reaction, is to match him up. And you're going up against a team who have been playing in this way with this formation for a long time now. That is the way that they play. And we've had to go and put a load of square pegs in round holes to match up with them. Why do it?
Yeah, I thought it was madness. I thought it was a mad thing to do because, I immediately got flashbacks. You know, like West Ham clips and that dog, the flashback dog from that was me when I saw Masuaku, because I did go to the League Cup game down there, right? And I think the week before we went to Arsenal.
Yeah,
and it was either the week before. Yeah, it was the week before.
I've not had any luck in North London derbies this year.
No, so me and you went to Arsenal and we saw Masuaku get literally torn a new one. Now, and then the following week went down to Tottenham in the League Cup and saw Masuaku get massively exposed again. And then so yesterday, it's like deja vu all over again, wasn't it? It's just like, why are you doing this? Because it wasn't only Arsenal and Tottenham before Christmas that exposed Masuaku. It was Crystal Palace as well. You remember they nearly come back?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. After he came on the pitch. And there was another game as well where he got exposed. So how many times does a player need to get exposed before he's out of lives, right? Now, how can I say this?
Do you think it all goes back to like his first stint here when he played with like on out of it up front, and he did have that period where he used Cresswell and Masuaku effectively on that left hand side in that system, and it worked a few years ago, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work anymore.
Maybe there certainly seems to be something with Moyes where he has faith in players. He doesn't lose faith in players. It just takes him a long time to gain faith in players, right?
Yeah.
I think what Grant said here. Arsenal, Arthur is not our level. I mean, absolutely, he isn't.
No,
I mean, he's not to my mind anyway. He's not a Premier League player. You don't see seasoned Premier League defenders get so openly nervous as he gets on the ball, right? He was exposed. And there's one thing about him, and this several people, whenever you watch a Masuaku game, and I've just given you a load of examples, right? Ones that I can remember. There are others as well. But one thing that some people always say is, oh yeah, but he wasn't responsible for the goal, the actual goal. But no, he was the one that was responsible for starting the opposition move, for kind of opening the gate and letting them in. And then somebody else makes a fuck up, like yesterday. It ends up deflecting in off Zuma's ass or something. So let's blame Zuma, or let's blame whoever the other defender was. Let's blame Dawson. No, it was Masuaku who started it in the first place. So Masuaku has got to have a great deal of blame. I mean, we will come and talk about Dawson and Zuma and their under 11 defending later on, but that has got to be the last time we see Masuaku play as a wing back.
But what I will say is, and I've said this to you earlier on, we say the same thing every time, and we slate Masuaku. Rightly so. He's been given a chance to play, but you never get a different performance out of him in that team. He always looks the same in that position. Why does Moyes keep doing it? So I'm just as frustrated with Moyes today. As great as he got it right the other day, he didn't get it right today. Look, we were before we sort of go into the game. How I saw this game was we played shit. We played shit. It was a tired performance.
Yeah.
But we were still in that game up until the 88th minute. That's the thing. So we could have won that because that was a fresh and sprightly Spurs team. They don't play good football. They play counter-attacking football. They play similar to us in a sense, but the difference is when they spring a counter-attack, they've got Kane and fucking Son up front. That's the difference. So they can be a lot more effective when they break with the ball. But on the whole, if you look at the possession stats, it's very even. Tottenham just set up. They set up with their rigid shape. We was never going to score from open play yesterday. They were good defensively, you could say, but we was hopeless going forward. Antonio looked fucking dead, and I can understand these players looking dead, but we've got to judge this on what we saw. We can't. It's not our fault that they didn't invest in January. Moyes can't use that as an excuse that we've got tired legs. Yeah. So we've got to judge this game on its merit. Yes, we know that we've only, they've only had 3 games rest and they put in a masterful performance on Thursday. But we want to compete on all fronts. We do. That was a 6-pointer. It ain't over yet. We're only 3 points behind Spurs. We can pull that back. And Spurs being Spurs, they're going to drop points. They are.
And look, I know you're prone to say that it's all over in the league. It's not all over in the league.
I haven't said it's over in the league.
No. I mean, compete. You just said we wanted to compete on all fronts, and we're not. Well, we are competing on all fronts. We're competing on the 2 remaining fronts that we've got in the Europa League.
But that was a key game. That's a 6-pointer.
Listen, I agree, but I looked at the fixtures, our remaining fixtures today, and I know you get some dodgy results towards the end of the season. You always do. But when you look at our remaining fixtures, we've got 8 games to go. 8 or 9, I can't remember, but we've got, but 6 of those are definitely winnable, and the other ones are a little bit tough. But we've got City and Chelsea, I think, at home, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got some tough games, but
Yeah.
but like I say, what is frustrating?
Oh, Chelsea away. Chelsea away.
Yeah, but what is frustrating is that we were shit and we were still in the game. If we'd have put out, and the thing is, I don't even necessarily think it was a tired performance. I think we started out, we was quite bright. I think we looked quite lively. We didn't look lackluster in like before they scored. We didn't look lackluster at all. But I think when you get set up in that way, I mean, Masuaku, I mean, let's forget Masuaku for a minute. Johnson put in a masterful performance on Thursday night. But again, whenever you play him at wing back, you're not playing him to his strengths. You're not playing him to his strengths. He's not a wing back. He's a brilliant right back. But if you play him where he's expected to go forward, and he was getting doubled up on out there, that's another thing as well. So he's going up against Reguilon, and he's got Son on that side. So you had Zuma being dragged out of position, trying to cover for him. You had Rice coming back half the time. We was being pulled from pillar to post. We had no width, nothing at all. And like I say, it was really hard. And that back five, well, back six, if you include Fabianski, had a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, they did.
An awful game. But that's in part down to the way that we set up. That is in part down to the way that we set up. It absolutely is. You put in square pegs in round holes. You're taking Kurt Zuma and Dawson, who are a settled back two, who are used to having a fullback either side of them. They've got their own zone in the box. They know that they've got a marshal, and they've got Suchek and Rice sitting in front of them. All of a sudden, that dynamic's been thrown up in the air. There's 3 centre backs. No one knows where to go. You've got players buzzing at you from all angles because Johnson's being caught up the pitch and Masuaku is. You just get pulled all over the fucking place.
Nick, I'm not letting Moyes off the hook by any stretch of the imagination, because I think he got the selection. I think he got the formation wrong yesterday, right? But you've got to say that these are highly paid professional footballers who should be able to adapt to a different system. You know, if you're going to use Masuaku anywhere, it should be as a wing back. Even though I've always thought left wing, as someone else has said on the on the chat here, you know, mainly because I don't want to risk him in defence. But these are players who should be able to cope with a change of formation. There is no excuse for footballers, professional Premier League footballers, to make the kind of mistakes that Masuaku did yesterday, that Zuma and Dawson did yesterday. That's 2 out of 3 goals, right? And you don't go away to Tottenham, again, exactly the same as the League Cup fucking game. You don't go away to Tottenham and gift them an early lead, because if you do, you're just you're on
the back foot.
Yeah, against the Conte side, you're chasing the game, aren't you? He knows how to shut up shop, and unfortunately, when we went a goal behind, the only way we were going to get a goal, anything out of that, was going to be for a set piece, because our forward play was completely lackluster.
It was non-existent. It was nowhere to be seen, and that's not. I mean, like I say, Antonio was dead. Ben Rama was the better of the forwards. He got his goal. He was industrious again. Ben Rama, he was tracking back. He was the better of the two, but none of them. There weren't any great performances there at all that I saw. I mean, it was frustrating. You know, you could see straight away. I mean, you can imagine Conte rubbing his hands together once he saw that lineup, because they all know these players. So once he saw Masuaku was in that team, it was no coincidence that the attack started coming down that side straight away. He gets targeted. He does. You know,
I totally agree with you. I totally agree. Let's go for a few comments, though, before we carry on. If you're going to play Arthur play him left wing, Paul, I agree with that. Grant says if we got an equaliser, every chance they would have melted, and we sneaked a winner. Yeah, I think. Look, if we'd have nicked one off a set piece or something like that, or if Antonio got his body shape right and hit that volley correctly or something, you know. Chelsea away with no fans. Yeah, sad. They'll have fans by then. I'm happy. Paul says Son and Kane will get the headlines, but Kulusevski was really impressive. I mean, they had a lot of good players. The one that Nick picked out, and I was looking at him as well, was that number 4.
Romero. Number 4.
Very, very, very strong, mobile, quick.
Yeah. I mean, that moment where Ben Rama went past him, and then 5 seconds later, the geezer just mowed him over, didn't he?
Yeah,
he was. He's some player. I don't think he's their player yet. I think he's only on loan. So
he made Ben Rama look like a bit of a mug there, didn't he? He sort of, you know, Ben Rama won the ball, and then he seems to give him a head start. Then he went and got it back off him. So Trump says, if we do well in Europe, those easy games, we will drop points. Right.
Kulusevski was man of the match.
Yeah.
He was a good player.
I can't understand why he went with wing backs. Didn't play
No.
Johnson. Well, that was my point earlier today, right?
Yeah.
You know the first win we got at that stadium. Fredericks played right wing back, and
Yeah.
he was magnificent. As
Son.
as was Noble that day. But the one that was Noble was man of the match that day. He was best player on the pitch by a mile. But Fredericks on the right hand side, Son never got a kick. He was amazing.
We was lacking pace. I mean, that was a slow back line yesterday. It was.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how slow Zuma was. Zuma's fucking slow. He's slow. I didn't realize.
It's very slow, but then again, Son's very quick. So it's like running. Son and Zuma is like Son running around a traffic cone, isn't it?
Yeah.
Talk about Son for a minute because Son was a fool last night. So much class. You dive like a dick. Yeah. It's a big point. It's a big talking point, isn't it? It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing for him for that to happen. There should be some retrospective punishment for something like that because it's clearly cheating.
I mean, the worst one. I haven't got a picture of that, but the worst one was the one with the ref, where he obviously clearly thought it was a West Ham player just sort of running across him, and he's run into the ref and fallen over and thrown his arms out, and then seen it was a referee.
Yeah.
But yeah, you had this one, which was that was a comical one, wasn't it? Where Zuma's kicked the ball at him and it's hit him in the back of the leg and he's gone down.
Honestly, infuriating, isn't it?
But he was like that all night. He was just hitting the deck constantly. And the thing that frustrates me is they didn't need to be doing that because going forwards, they were. If they'd have spent less time on the floor, they probably would have scored more goals because they were when they were on their feet when Kane was dropping deep in them positions. Now I'm not a Kane fan, but I did see him firsthand yesterday, and he is a top class player. I mean especially that ball that he put through, like for Son. I mean, it was weighted to perfection, but that was down to gaps that we were leaving as well. And if you've got a player like that who's dropping into pockets of space, he's unmarshalled. And half of that was because you had Rice and Souček, which were being pulled all over the place because they're trying to cover up for the fullbacks. So Kane's intelligent. He just drops into areas, and when you got Son buzzing around, Kane will find him. It was so easy. It was easy for him. I mean, they made hard work of it. They should really have been out of sight because do you remember that Kane had that chance to score, didn't he? And he missed it, and we said, that's going to be the turning point.
Yeah. I must admit, I'm with you on that one. Right, the first goal could have been avoided. The third goal could have been avoided definitely, but the middle goal, if you leave Kane in that much space, the ball that he played through to Son was so perfectly weighted. I mean, it was fast. And then it kind of it was a gravity-defying ball, it was so perfect. He didn't even have to break stride. And then the finish was something else. I mean, it was way too high over Fabianski for him to do anything about it. You can't really stop a goal like that.
I still felt like he ducked.
Well, yeah, but if you look at it from the back, it was a long way over him, so it just weren't even worth a dive.
I know, but this is the issue that we've got. So Tottenham play, when you're in that system, there's only really ever going to be one winner because if you match up and go toe-to-toe with a team and plan exactly the same system, when they have superior players than you in that system, then it ain't going to fucking work. It's not going to work. You've got to come up with a counter tactic. That's down to David Moyes to give them something else to think about. You play into their hands. If you do that, because they had superior wing backs.
Yep.
And they had superior forward players for when they sprung counter attacks. So and our like I say, our defense, I don't know what happened there. They're not normally that bad, but Cresswell, Dawson, and Zuma were fucking absolutely shocking. They were.
Oh, they were awful. They were. I mean, let's just talk about. I mean, we're going to do player ratings. Obviously, there's going to be quite a few donkeys in there tonight. But let's talk about a few things. So, for instance, right, the Antonio volley miss.
Yeah.
That I mean, look, that was down the other end of the ground. No. Yeah, it was down the other end of the ground from us.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? And and when you look at the replay, I watched it on telly. I just had to see how bad that third goal was, right? And they showed the replay of Antonio's chance. And it was actually weren't a bad chance, but the guy sometimes he and Defoe picked this up, don't like quoting Defoe, but Jermaine Defoe said when he was at West Ham, he worked with Ian Wright a lot, and Ian Wright told him, doesn't matter whether you get a chance in the first minute or in the 90th minute. You got to be ready for it. You got to have your body shape right. You got to have your head over the ball, and you got to be prepared to put it away. More often than not, and I go back to that Seville game last week with that chance where Antonio wasn't expecting the ball through from Benrahma and he fumbled it. That should have been 1-0, right? It should have been a goal. And the same with that one at Spurs. There are far too many of those chances. They're not just Antonio, but us as a team. We don't take them. We're nowhere near clinical enough. And
we're not clinical in that final third. We're just not clinical in the final third, and we haven't been for a while. It's kind of, it's so frustrating because we do create chances.
Yeah,
we do. And the thing is, in playing at the highest level, there are certain games like when we're in the Europa League in the latest. If we go up against Barcelona, we're not going to get loads of chances.
No. The one or two chances that you get
one or two, you've got to put them away.
Yeah, you really have, and you can tell that by looking at our results. We've had a load of wins, we've beaten a load of teams, but how many times have we been sweating in the 90th minute because we've got a 1-goal lead? I mean, it's virtually every week, isn't it?
Well, Gary, just go up to sort of reinforce my point. Go back to Liverpool. We missed chances in that game.
Yeah,
we played well, lost 1-0.
Yeah, and that should have been. We should have won that game. Really, when you look at the chances.
Yeah,
but again, it's too much. It's bad technique. It's, you look at it again, don't want to replay the Liverpool game, horrific, but Fornals, hit that ball early. For Christ's sake, hit it early. Don't try and lob.
They're all guilty of it. They're all guilty of it.
Yeah. But we're far too generous a lot of the time, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. But like I say, as good as we were on, and I hope people aren't going to get the umpires for being too harsh with me because they are all heroes. This lot, they did give us, one of the best nights of our West Ham supporting lives on Thursday night. But you do have to judge it on merit. This was a big game as well, and I know they only had 3 days to recover and get over it, but that wasn't good enough by any stretch. It wasn't good enough. It weren't good enough from the manager. And it wasn't good enough from the team in general. I thought Rice and Souček and Lanzini had okay games. They were the only three that came out of this. No, Benrahma
was probably our best player. I thought.
But those four, I think Benrahma, Lanzini, Rice, and Souček were the only ones that really come out with it with any credit. Fabianski, I've got no fucking clue what his excuse was because he was shit. I mean, he was poor for the goals. He was hesitant coming off his line. And how many times, Gary? I'm sure there were twice where his distribution, he just kicked the fucking thing straight out of touch. He just kicked it. His kicking is awful.
Correct me if I'm wrong. But I think the first goal they scored in the League Cup. I'm trying to remember it right. The first goal they scored in the League Cup was very early in the game, and I think it ended up being blamed on Lanzini for not getting a tackling on the edge of the box or something like that.
Yeah,
but that also started from Masuaku, and it ended up in a cluster of bodies, and the ball found its way into the net in a similar way to that one yesterday. It was just like so disappointing. Look, let's go through a few more comments, and then we got any big.
There's not really any big sort of talking points. I mean, obviously the goal. It was. I don't want to talk about. Their goals were just fucking. 2 of them were just complete fuck ups.
Well, let's talk about the third one quickly because that was the pinnacle of bad defending. I mean,
Dalton and Zuma going for the same ball.
Well, David Moyes today or last night, he said if you were an under-11s team manager, you'd be disappointed with that defending.
I don't know what they were doing
from Zuma and Dawson. Awful, absolutely awful. I mean, I mean, I think we've covered most stuff. But oil protesters. That was good entertainment, wasn't it? So the first one, which was down the far end from us, showed a good burst of pace, I thought, but was all sort of.
I said the steward though. The steward, my God, was he quick?
Steward was rapid. I think they've got they've got sprinting training, the stewards, because the first one down the other end managed to get to the post and was about to tie himself on, and
he came from nowhere.
Barely had time to get his cable ties out or whatever he had. And the steward was on him. And then there's another one that came on.
He had Gary. He had a good sort of 20 meters head start on that steward. And this fucking steward came motoring through, didn't he? It was brilliant, very impressive. Good, I'd sign him.
Yeah. And What else? I think, there were a few other things over there yesterday. Like the staff were a bit rude at half time. They wouldn't serve us beer because there was some kind of, we got sent to the other bar. And there was it apparently had gone off in there earlier because some police had given a West Ham supporter a slap and then got set upon by several other West Ham supporters. Apparently it got a little bit tasty, which is why
he got a bit nervous. Apparently what he was doing was there was a bloke in the thing behind us. He gave a West Ham fan a clump. I imagine rightly so, whatever. But a load of West Ham fans came surging through, and the geezer was on his thing going, "Mayday, mayday, code red, mayday, mayday, code red." Started to panic a little bit, and then all the riot police poured in. So we couldn't get a beer, which was shit.
No, but they were on the riot police were on the download by the time we came through, weren't they? Because there was a guy having a fag directly next to riot police, right next to him.
Yeah.
And they didn't say a word. He was almost blowing smoke rings in their face. You know what I mean?
But yeah, no, it was fucking frustrating, to be honest. I thought as we got deeper into that second half, Kane missed that chance, didn't he?
Yeah.
And as we got deeper into the second half, we got that chance on the 85th minute from the corner, if you remember.
Yeah.
And I think it was Cresswell, wasn't it? Cresswell whipped it in. Fornals was gonna, but then Cresswell took it off him. It was a good corner. I think we had a couple of bites at the cherry of that, but then that was it. That was chance gone. It was almost straight down the other end, wasn't it? 88 minutes.
Yeah.
Fucking stupid goals concede, but it's a smash and grab. It's kind of what they've been doing, Tottenham. It's the way that they play. I don't want to say that back five anymore. We haven't got the players to do it.
No, I mean,
he's got to stop doing it. We played perfectly well on Thursday night with a fucking back four. You've got, and that's the reason. It's no coincidence that Dawson and Zuma partnership, where they've got a fullback either side of them. They've got two really good central defensive midfielders in front of them in Rice and Souček. They're well protected. It's no coincidence that all of a sudden they've probably felt a bit fucking vulnerable in that sort of situation. I don't know why he shook it up. He didn't need to. He didn't need to do that. It was a weird thing to do. But anyway, it's done. Yeah. We move on to the player ratings, I suppose.
Let's just do some comments, then we do the player ratings. So let's. Happy says, "I wish we'd sign that Kulu lad." Who's that?
Who's Kulu? Did I miss him?
Is he one of their? He's only 21. Well, I don't know. I must admit, I had tears in my eyes for most of that game. Bill says, "I don't have a problem matching Tottenham's formation. Just the personnel was wrong." Yep. Love the background, Gary. Thank you, Paul. It's very new. This is a Moyes fatigue, knackered, depleted squad. Piss poor January will now suffer as Bowen could be out for a while as well, says Amit. Yeah, maybe. Having said that, depends which news sources you read. Some say he'll be back for Leon. Some say he might even be back for Everton. Who knows? Second half, we meant business, got tired and subbed Antonio. It was game over. It kind of was, wasn't it? I mean, Antonio, I think he did nothing. To be fair, he did not a lot, Antonio. But he deserved to get taken off. But I think it would have been better to have left him on and brought Yarmolenko on alongside Antonio rather than do what he did. Because he brought Vlasic on for Ben Rama at the same time, didn't he? Or shortly after.
I mean, that bloke, I am sorry. You got to give him a chance, but he just seems like a pointless player to me.
Right. Fornals will really improve once Fornals come on.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I don't know why he didn't start. I mean, if there's one player you think super fit and who don't need the rest, it's him, Fornals. It was bizarre. I really. As the days worn on, I've started to get more and more fucking wound up with it. To be honest, I'll be honest with you.
Gatesy said, "Hope you both well. Son, a great player, absolute serial cheat, but he's a smiley guy, so it's all okay." Yeah.
Horrible.
Fucker. And Regulion gets jumped up for no reason. Yeah, that was quite funny, Regulion, didn't it? Yeah, I think he wanted to have a little word with Zuma. I think Zuma was ready for that, wasn't he?
Johnson should have just let him get to Zuma. That probably would have been quite funny.
And Trudge, he's always attached to the ref's ear roll, whatever game, always attached.
Yeah.
Rice needs to sort that out. Right, let's go down here. To be fair, a certain Yarmolenko did a rather embarrassing dive not so long ago. Yeah, but he's not guilty of anything. He can dive all over the pitch, Yarmolenko. We let him get away with it. But we criticised him for that dive too. Yeah, we did. Not now, though. He could do it now and we wouldn't criticise him. Fab stuck in the mud again. I don't know whether he was actually responsible for any of those 3 goals. I kind of think he should have done it. I think he panicked and threw himself for the first one. I'd like to see him do more and be more dominant
I
there.
don't think he covered himself in glory, Gary. I've got to be honest. In that game, he didn't, not at all.
VAR used for cheating. Bloody hell, VAR wouldn't half get used a lot, wouldn't it?
Yeah. What's happened there?
Gatesy reckons he's a superior wing back to Masuaku. Well,
Gatesy, he probably would
Yeah.
be. I think. Look, he's not a wing back. To me, I said it earlier on. Masuaku, you know how lackadaisical Ben Rama is when he's in the forward positions, and he does one good thing and he does loads of bad things, and he sort of gives the ball away. It's like putting Ben Rama at fullback. It's like putting Ben Rama at fullback. It's not his strength. He would give the ball away. He would be a fucking liability. Masuaku is not a defender.
No,
In any way. He's not a defender. No way.
No, he really isn't. He really isn't. Zuma will be getting a low score today. Damn right he will. But having said that, look, today, with the player ratings, I think we'll restrict ourselves, Nick, to one donkey head. Let's not give people donkey heads because they were largely knackered, a lot of these players. And I think we owe them after what they gave us last week.
You've got to be fair. You've got to be fair. Look, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. As Johnson got a 10 the other day.
Yeah,
right,
true.
Johnson was shit in that position. Now, I know it's not his fault because he ain't a right wing back. But Masuaku ain't a left. He ain't a wing back either.
No, I'm saying we score him low, but I think we should go easy on the donkey heads. It's just
he's a happy. No, fuck it. No, he's a happy donkey. Look, I've changed the donkey head. He's smiling.
Claire says it's so depressing after Friday's show. What is he? He's in the swings and arrows, the swings and roundabouts are supporting West Ham, right? That's what it is.
I think it's fairer if we give everyone a fucking donkey head. I think that's the way to go. Including
Very poor performance, Zuma's usual. Yeah, to be fair, Zuma's been magnificent lately, isn't he?
Yeah.
Every time Antonio misses a good chance, I think, what if we had a top striker? Not knock on Antonio, he's done a decent job, as he has. But it's crazy. We don't have a striker. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Paul. I hate using fatigue as an excuse. We just didn't look like we wanted it. Yeah, but again, that can be dressed up, and mistakes can be born out of fatigue as well, right? And there were a few. I don't think on a normal.
Masuaku can't have been fatigued, Gary. He ain't played for.
No, not Masuaku. But I'm saying on a normal day without fatigue, I don't think you see Dawson and Zuma do what they did at the end there.
No. I think that was confusion. I think the system was all wrong. That's my take. Moyes is getting the donkey here today from me.
Paul says Fornals was useless and only passed backwards. Only one player had a good game, says Trudge. Hammer's dad, we should park the bus first half and finish them off on the counter attack. We were going toe to toe. We weren't going toe to toe. Well, I kind of agree with that. I think when you go to a place like Spurs, it's most important to frustrate them and keep it tight early doors. Don't get all your cards out straight away. Because the crowd at Spurs, for all the noise they make, they will turn and start getting restless.
Yeah, they will. And also with Spurs, because of the way that they set up, where they want to do that, they want to allow you, they want to set up with a back five, and they just want to gift you the ball, and they want to hit you on a counter attack. Yeah. If you don't do that, if you don't pour at them, then you're not playing into their hands. Fucking make them come out, make them come at you.
That's right. We could have sat back there with two banks of four, right? Yeah. So Epic Ash Time says Fabianski was the worst player on the pitch. Well,
no, he weren't. He weren't far off, but he weren't.
There are a few candidates in that little competition, isn't there? So a few contestants. Black Country Hammer. I don't understand why Masuaku, better players on the bench. Yeah,
no, better players in the stands, I think.
The player off of Monat played well. That must be Ben Rama.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, he was the better of the forwards.
Happy has found a new pub to watch it locally, and it was full of spuds. Oh no, it's not round next way, is it?
Oh no,
crap night full of crappy people. Right.
You found a bag.
Evening, Garino.
Hello, Garino.
Masuaku was a foul for the first goal. Yes, I'm nearly down the bottom now. Let me pick out any more. Right, I'll tell you what. Let's come back to the comments after we've done the player ratings.
Yeah, let's start with Fabianski, people. What's your rating for Fabs? Gary, go on. You start with Fabs.
Fabianski, I'll give him a 5.
You give him a 5. Why would you give him a 5, Gary?
Why? Because I am suspicious that he should have done better for that first goal. I think, and didn't cover himself in glory, did he? His distribution was awful as per usual, and it was part of an awful team performance. So I can't mark him as average. I'm going to mark him below average.
I think that's fair enough. I'm fucking getting this all wrong now, aren't I? Right, hang on. All my fancy graphics, and it's all gone wrong. Right, so you reckon a 5? I mean, I would probably go lower than that, but because I don't think he was a worse player on the pitch, so I think we'll stick with a 5. What are other people saying? 5, 6,
6, 5, 4, 5, 5,
5. I don't know what I'm.
5,
I don't know.
5 for Chodge. Yeah.
Just delete that. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with me thing. It's not working, Gal.
What?
Right, we've got to move on to Cresswell anyway. Go on. So I'm going to give him a 5 when this actually works.
Well, look, I'm going to give Cresswell a little bit of culpability for that first goal, because there were a couple of times in that first half where Cresswell and Masuaku were both caught up the pitch, and they left a massive gap in behind them. So Masuaku was worse than Cresswell, but I would say Cresswell 5.
You say, oh, really? I'll go lower.
Go on in.
I personally, I mean, see what they say in the chat, but for Cresswell, I mean that back line was shit. It was bad. It's the worst I've seen us defend. I personally would go probably 4 for Cresswell.
By the way, good point from Grant here, because I believe this. Is it me, or does Fab look nervous when the defense isn't up to speed? I think he definitely adds, when the defense ain't on their game, he makes it even worse, I think.
You know, it works the other way. Sometimes if you keep right, your defense can be shaky as well.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Cresswell 2. Look, I'm going to go. I'm going to go 4 with Cresswell.
All right.
Are you happy with that? Okay, I'm going to go 4. So is he getting a donkey head?
He's got to have a donkey head, yeah.
It's only fair.
I think the rules are below 5 donkey, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's the matter with your?
I don't know what's gone wrong with it today. Put it on now. I'll do a 4 on there. No, it's not fucking working.
Oh, Nick.
All right, I know. It's all this. Look, all the gear, no idea. I just have to do it like that. 4. Okay.
Yeah, that'd do.
Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Okay. Right. So he's getting a donkey head.
Yep.
There's Cresswell, number 1. Okay. Right. Dawson, Gary.
Dawson. Well, look, I think out of Dawson and Zuma, I think Zuma was worse yesterday. Zuma had an absolute mare.
He was shit. He was really bad.
Dawson, he got an assist, right, as well. I would give Dawson, because he didn't make any glaring errors other than that one right at the end, and that was a 50-50 between him and Zuma. So I'll give him a 5.
Yeah. You give Dawson a 5, yeah?
Dawson a 5. I think he was the pick of the defenders.
Yeah. Okay. I wouldn't disagree with that. I think, yeah. I mean, that's not setting the bar very high, though, is it? But I know what you mean.
We got Dawson 6. Dawson 6 tried his best. Yeah. If one thing you can guarantee with Dawson, he always tries his best.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Seems to work on a second attempt. I have to change it after. Right. So yeah, no, I agree with that. I thought he was shambolic. I thought he was equally culpable for that third goal. I think that the defense was just missing and static for all of their. I think it's as bad as I've seen us play. I do think that the system has everything to do with it. I think that they were confused as well. It weren't just fatigue. I think but you go from a back 2, Gary. You go from a back 2, whereas a centre back, you've got your zone, that's my side, that's your side. You know you've got your fullback side covered. You know you've got your fullback side covered. You've got 2 players in front of you. All of a sudden, you're not. You're in a back 3. You don't know what's going on. You've got to cover there because your wing back's higher up the pitch. At the midfield in front of them was getting pulled all over the place. Gary, the results were there yesterday. It creates chaos. It didn't work. It does create chaos. I
don't buy that the manager is not allowed to change system because it might confuse the players.
So you think that it was a right thing to do to play Ben Johnson at right wing back where he isn't strong and play Masuaku as a left wing back where he isn't strong?
No, not at all. Not at all. I would have played.
He was wrong then. So he was definitively wrong.
He was wrong. He would have played. We've already agreed with this, right? I would have put Ben Johnson out on the left-hand side and Fredericks on the right. But I'm just saying, it doesn't matter who you pick. Those players should be able to adapt to the system and not make schoolboy errors, which is what they did make.
Yeah, right? I just think it's down to the manager to pick the best player for the job and best team for the job, and he didn't do it in my mind.
Yeah.
So Kurt Zuma, you're going to go 5 or a 4 for Zuma? I think a 4.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're getting Zuma 2, 3, 3. I think he was pretty appalling.
Yeah.
I'll go 4. Can't go below 4, can you?
Nah. Okay. Right. If you move on to Johnson, go on to Johnson first.
Well, Johnson, I thought he did his best. Didn't make any glaring errors other than getting caught for pace a few times.
No.
That's not his fault, is it? So I'd give Johnson probably a 6 or a 5.
Again, Johnson, you'd give him a 6 or a 5.
A 5, yeah, I'd give him a 5. Why? Did I miss something? Were there
I,
times when he was completely caught out?
I think he was losing out to Reguilon all the time. He was getting caught out of position. The amount of times you remember Rice chasing Son back on that side,
Oh yeah.
where he was just getting caught up the pitch. I think he was awful. I'm going to leave that as a 4 in my mind on that one. I think we should be fair. If Cresswell's getting one, and other players are getting them as well.
I mean, we've got a lot of people saying 5, 5, 6, 4. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know.
What for Johnson? Oh.
Well, the thing is, right. He didn't play.
He had a bad game, and what I'm saying is, I know it's unfair.
He didn't play as bad as Zuma. He didn't play as bad as Masuaku. That's what I'm saying.
He was every bit as culpable as why we was getting attacked down them sides. Why do you think Son Zuma was having a nightmare because he had Johnson on that side. Zuma was having to track Son constantly. So Son was in acres of space.
I watched it. Listen, right. I know he got caught out a few times.
Well,
but
what did Johnson do well then, Gary? In your mind?
I thought a lot of the time he was solid defensively. I thought he got caught out a few times because he had two players with pace running towards him, and there's not much he can do about it. But I think when he was asked to do a regular defensive job, I thought he did it.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the average in the chat for Johnson? Is it 5?
Well, it's 5.
6?
Yeah.
We know you got 4. Is that Zuma?
Well, there's a hold on. We'll start from the beginning, right? We got 4, 6. Yeah. We got 5, 5, 4, 5.
All right. So we go 5.
That's an average of 5. Yeah.
All right. Okay. I'll give in.
Masuaku. Right. Give us your point. Give us your scores for Masuaku, everyone. This will be a laugh. I mean, Masuaku
for me. Yeah. I don't know.
He's. I'll give him a 2.
Let's take that donkey off of him. I'm going to put that on Masuaku straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 or 3 don't really matter. He was a worse player on the pitch. I think a 2 is fair.
He was.
A 2 is fair. What are other people saying? So you got 1, 4. 3, yeah. No, I think we're about there. Look, he was shocking. He really was. But he always is, and this is a reflection of the man that's standing right next to him on that graphic as well. Why he keeps on playing him every single time. He's with Moyes. He's never given Moyes any indication that he is a good defender. Why he plays him there? Why he automatically puts him there? I don't fucking know. Moyes is also going to get a low score in this from me when we do get to him.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Declan Rice. I mean, I'll go on Rice. I think Rice had an average game.
6.
He had an average game as a 6. He weren't good. He weren't bad. He done his job. He was fine.
Yeah, I'd give him a 6. He wasn't spectacular, but he broke play up quite a lot. He did the defensive side of the game pretty well.
Yeah. I agree with that. What's everyone else saying on Rice?
Rice 6.
Yeah, I think it was just an average game, wasn't it, from him?
Yeah, 7 from Paul. I would.
I agree, Paul. He did try hard, but yeah.
But I don't think for that performance yesterday, I don't think we can have too many players scoring 7. And I think probably there's only one player that's going to get 7 out of this team.
Yeah, no, I agree. Okay, let's go to Souček next.
I'd give him a 5. I'd say he was slightly worse than Rice, but he got about the pitch and tried. He put in a shift, as he always does.
Yeah.
But, he'd been dragged all over the place, wasn't he?
He was better in the second half than he was in the first. I thought in the first, because of the way that Souček plays, Rice holds and Souček he seems to be playing more box to box.
Yeah.
Because he was tired, he was behind the attack, he was behind the defense. He was a bit lost in the first half. In the second half, he seemed to settle down a little bit. He was a bit better. So, but yeah, no, he was all right. Lanzini for me was probably I think he was probably our best player in the first half, but then he got tired in the second. Thought Lanzini, everything was going through him. He was turning the ball over really well.
Yeah,
he did seem to tire, though. He did seem to tire.
I'd give Lanzini a 6.
He did seem to tire, didn't he?
He did, but I'd give him a 6.
Yeah.
He's, we were quite enjoying watching him for a while in the first half, weren't we?
Yeah. We were talking about that midfield, weren't we? I mean, the three of them, it seemed to be, we was getting a bit carried away, obviously.
Yeah.
Right, let's leave who is probably the best. We'll leave the best till last. Let's get to Antonio next. Antonio, for me, that was a typical tired Antonio performance. I feel sorry for the bloke. I think he worked hard. I think Antonio, we're all in agreement that Antonio's game is all about physical attributes and stuff like that. If he isn't 100%, which he was nowhere near 100% yesterday, he's going to look clumsy. He's going to do stupid things. But he never looked lazy. He never looked lazy to me. He looked like he was still working hard, but he was so fucking ineffective. It was painful. For me, I would probably go. It's going to hurt me to do it, but I will. I'll be fair. I'll go a 4 as well for Antonio. He was bad. He had a bad game.
I'm all right with that.
He had a bad game. He did try, like as Marino said, tried to look frustrated. There was that as well. He was getting pulled all over the place yesterday, and he was getting battered from pillar to post. He got nothing.
He was, but on a normal day, he takes that in his stride, doesn't he?
Oh, I don't know. It did annoy me. It did annoy me, but.
So, anyway, look, I think a 4 is fine because it wasn't a good performance from him.
Sorry, Mickey.
Yeah, I feel quite guilty about it.
Well, we're distributing lots of them today. Look, you can't quite see the
donkeys are never on their own. There's never one donkey, is there?
No, it's better to have groups of donkeys, I find.
Yeah.
There you go. Right, let's go with no donkey for this man today.
No, scored a goal, looked very busy throughout. Looked like he wanted it. Apart from when he scored the goal, apparently Jamie Redknapp said he fooled the Spurs defence because he was hanging around on the far post with his hands on his hips, looking disinterested.
Hey,
he was for the goal. He was hanging around on the back post. He was like using stealth.
He was. Okay.
Using stealth. He was trying to say, "Don't look at me. Don't bother marking me because I'm not going to do anything." And then the ball comes across to him, and bang. So I thought he had a good game. That's a couple of games running that he's played well. Long may it continue.
I'll tell you what, with him, it's more off the ball. I've been noticing it. He's been tracking back. He's been a lot more. He's been working hard. And he's not been so lackadaisical because I do find that with him sometimes. And the other thing, he's been releasing the ball quicker as well because he likes to ponder on the ball. That pisses me off. He ain't been doing that quite so much. He seems to be, releasing the ball a lot more and. Yeah, it was a good performance.
I've got to bring your attention to this from Epic Hashtime.
I'm not even looking. That's a fucking stupid thing to say. He's trolling me. Epic Hashtime's trolling me. Mate, honestly, seriously, Epic Hashtime. He had a good game, but seriously, mate.
He's off.
Yeah, he had a good game. Was you watching the game? He ain't in the same league as a fucking 2 that was on the other team, is he? He was our best attacker. Yeah. But he was good. He was good. So we give him a 7. But
he was our best player and our man of the match, our star man for yesterday. Yes, that's what he was.
Right, 7. Okay, he gets a 7. And we'll crown him now because there's no one else who's getting anywhere near him.
He's our man of the match for sure.
The man of the match. There you go. Yeah. There you go. See, we're fair.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Pablo Fornals, when he came on, I thought he was good. I thought he added energy to the team, to be honest.
The people in the chat are split. And to be honest, before you said that about he was really good, I thought he was a bit average. So I'd go 6.
Yeah, I'd only go 6. I won't go any higher than that because he was a sub. But I thought he played as well as the others. I thought he was I think he added energy to the team.
He did.
Which he often does.
It's true that it's true what they say. He has usually got a bit of a weak shot, Ben Rama, hasn't he?
Yeah,
It was a controlled finish, and it was a very good finish, very difficult ball to hit as well. And he squeezed it in at the post, at the near post there. Really, really, really good. Beat a good keeper, you know.
Yeah, he did. He did. Right, we'll leave Yarmolenko to the end. Let's go to Vlasic now. I'll start on him. Right, this bloke, I'm starting to not lose patience with, but I'm starting to really fucking get confused by what he is, what he does. He looks busy. He's like he's like a cockney. I'm double busy, but nothing ever gets done. He's fucking runs around the pitch. He runs around the pitch. He looks like he's doing stuff, but there's no output. There's no, you're not going to get any assists from him, any goals. And I personally think that is down to what people say that David Moyes does to Ben Rama, which is where David Moyes wants Ben Rama to not focus so much on what he's good at, but to be more industrious and to focus on a defensive side of things. Yeah. I truly believe that Vlasic is buying into David Moyes, what David Moyes wants from him. And I think that is taken away from Vlasic's strengths. Vlasic, he was a top player in the league where he came from. He was a top player in the league where he came from. I don't know. He can't be as pointless as he seems because
I agree with you. I agree with you. He's been brought in as an attacking midfielder who plays in number 10 position and was really productive. Scored a lot of goals. Got a decent shot on him. Links up play between the midfield and the attackers, and he gets brought over here and he gets stuck out on the wing. So we're not seeing the best of him and told to track back, right? So we're not seeing the best of him. I think Guarino's right here. It's a bit unfair to score him. He was only on the pitch for 2 minutes.
Yeah. So I'll take him off then.
Yeah, take him off.
All right, let's take him off. All right, okay. So Yarmolenko.
Yeah, as Nigel.
But it stands. My point on Vlasic does stand. I don't get him. I don't get what he is as a player. I don't see what he offers. Like I say, he looks busy. He looks like he's a busy player. And he works hard. He looks like his heart's in the right place. But yeah, we shall see. Maybe he'll come good. Maybe he'll come good next year. Look at Nigel. Shit, I've just seen those scores.
Yeah, Nigel's saying, "Have I missed anything?" Not really, Nigel. It's all been a bit, it's all been a bit bleak.
It's all been a bit bleak. Well, look, we're judging it on the game, Nigel. We can't live on the Thursday night performance.
Disgraceful. Vlasic, the crab. Only passes back and sideways.
He does, though. He does.
Yeah. So let's do a score for Yarmo.
Okay. Yarmolenko for me. I thought when he came on, there was lots of energy. He looked good. But Moyes stuck him in the same system because what Moyes done was, it was a system that was failing. He didn't change the system. He does what he always does. He just changed personnel in the same system because it can't possibly be David Moyes' system that ain't working. So what he's done is he's brought Yarmolenko on to impersonate Antonio up front on his own. So Yarmolenko's trying to do stupid little fucking flicks for his legs to no one, which he kept on doing. I thought Yarmo probably wasn't very, very good when he came on. I'm not going to give him, and I'm not going to put a donkey on Yarmolenko's head though, for obvious reasons. So Yarmo gets a 5 from me. I'm ignoring you in the chat, you nasty people.
Yeah, give him a 5.
I'm going to give him a 5.
Yeah. It's impossible for Yarmolenko to score less than 5 at this moment.
At this moment in time, it is, yeah. Right. So he gets a 5. Look, like I say, to be quite honest, he's not a lone strike. And at that point, it was Yarmolenko. You saw him. He was up there. He had Spurs players all around him. He had 3 in front of him, 2 behind him. What's he going to do there? He's not that sort of player. So no. I think 5. 5 for Yarmo. That's it. Right, let's move on to Moyes. Well, I'm going to start on Moyes. I think as good as he did the other day, and it was brilliant. He got it bang on in Sevilla, and he does. And he is allowed a mistake, David Moyes. He is. He's allowed to get it wrong. All managers get it wrong. He fucking got it wrong. He got it wrong on Sunday, massively, in my mind. I don't think I don't think he addressed it either. I don't think he addressed the problem. I don't even think it was a personnel problem. Him coming out and blaming Antonio and Dawson and Zuma is a bit rich because it was his system that got it all wrong. Putting Masuaku in that team, that's where the first goal come from, Moyes. All right, you've got to take responsibility for that. So I am sorry for this one, and we are being fair. Look, I've never given Cresswell a donkey before. He's got one. Zuma, Antonio, Masuaku. For me, Moyes, you're getting a 2. You're getting a 2 from me. I think he was bad. He was poor.
I can't score him the same as Masuaku. I'd give him a 3.
You're going to give him a 3? All right.
Yeah.
We'll go 3.
Yeah.
So, but you're in agreement, though?
I'm in agreement that Moyes got it completely wrong and didn't address it with any of the substitutions. Yes.
No, he didn't. It was bizarre. Okay. Right, so David Moyes, there you go.
Listen, he gets enough praise from us, so
No,
occasionally.
if he gets it wrong, he gets it wrong.
Yeah.
Look, these are the rules. These are the rules that we've set. We've got to be fair and impartial.
Yeah.
Get on your head. Go on. There you go. Oh, don't that look good? Look.
McDonkey.
McDonkey. There we go. He's a happier donkey as well. It don't look quite as offensive.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, as Garino said, Moyes, wrong formation, played the high line, which was suicidal. Could have, but what did he do? I still now that I was really calm. You saw at the game, I was all right because I was still kind of quite buoyant. As this day has gone on, I've been thinking about it a bit more, and I've been getting more and more pissed off with it because it weren't necessary. We could have beat them. We was shit, and they only just beat us. They only just beat us.
Listen, right? Spurs won their cup final. They've booked the open top bus. They're going to release a DVD. A range of T-shirts are coming out next week about the famous time they beat a broken West Ham, a broken, knackered and fatigued West Ham.
Yeah.
You know, they must be very proud.
Bastards.
Yeah, fuck them.
Well, I think fucking why they were celebrating as well. And I was having a go at us for celebrating the last 16 game. Did you see? I mean, in the quarter final, where they beat us, the Carabao Cup, for fuck's sake.
I know.
The scenes, the limbs, the scenes at fucking White Hart Lane.
Yeah. So we've got fair and impartial. You need a dictionary to look at. Do they get a trophy for winning 2 games in a row? They must do, mustn't they?
Yeah, they must do. Yeah. But look, when all said and done, all right, that the scores were based on that game. I still very much love David Moyes, and I still very much love all of the players that played the other night. I do, but they were shit on Sunday night, on Sunday afternoon. They were. You got to call it as you see it. They were bad. It was poor. There were reasons for it. They were tired. That's not my fucking problem. It's not my problem. I'm tired and no one likes to go and watch it. So yeah, it is what it is. Do you want to run through the last few comments, Gary, and then we'll wrap it up?
Yeah. Let's have a look. So whole team was passing sideways and backwards, 0 pace up front. Matt encapsulates my feelings from yesterday. Should have played the kid. Don't know about that, but 1 or 2 kids I'd totally agree with.
Yeah.
Spurs fans are like a roller coaster full of highs and lows with a constant factor of delusion. Yes, they are.
Yes, they are. Indeed. Yeah.
So that's it, right? We are done for our Spurs match review. Never let this be repeated.
We are. I didn't even do a video for this one, did I? That's no. I was really reluctant. It was really reluctant to do this video. But
special mention, by the way, when we came out of that ground yesterday, me and Nick, when that third goal went in, we thought, fuck this, we're going home, right? So we stormed out. We thought, lovely. We get to White Hart Lane station. We get on a train back to Enfield, where Nick lives. Fucking came out of the state, turned left. There's a police cordon stopping us from turning left to get to the shortcut to White Hart Lane station. There was no other fans about. They said, you're West Ham, we've got to stop your mixing. I said, well, we're going to mix at the station, mate. Don't care. You got to walk the long way around.
On the high road. On the high road.
On like a 20-minute walk all the way around to White Hart Lane. By the time we got back to White Hart Lane, we were like at the back of the queue.
I know. It was fucking infuriating because it literally did. It cost. Well, to be fair, we still got on the one train because their transport links is shit. Coming back to Enfield, if you go to White Hart Lane, it's a normal service. So you're looking every half an hour for a train, even on a match day. Yeah. One train every half an hour. You got one going to Cheshunt, one going to Enfield, and there's one that goes into Liverpool Street, and they're every half an hour. I mean, that's fucking rubbish, isn't it? You think they would lay on more, but anyway, is what it is. Yeah.
Anyway, let's bring this joyous fest. Let's bring this joyous fest to an end.
That's all right. Well, listen, we've got a booze up coming on Friday, haven't we, Gary? Do you want to just? I think who we got on. We got Mike Brennan, Father Jack, and we've got Chris Miles. Hopefully, we'll have John back. Hopefully, he'll be fully recovered. He'll be back on with us as well.
And Phil Pitt's going to join us as well, isn't he?
And Phil Pitt as well. Yeah, it's going to be a full house. That'd be good. Yeah. That'd be good.
So that's it. So we're done. Thank you all for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks to everyone who's left a comment in the chat. If you haven't done so already, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification icon. And that's us done until Friday. See you on the Booze Up on Friday. Good night, and come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.